Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, where last episode my incompetence knew absolutely no bounds. But here we are. We managed to get this thing into orbit, kinda. And we need to take this off to Minmus. So let's go ahead and take it on over. Of course, Minmus is this guy right here. We'll set that as our target, and how are we doing? We just passed the descending node. So at the ascending node, we will go ahead and add a maneuver, and it should be the bottom one here. Yup. Excellent. And we'll just set our inclination. That should be good. How quick do we turn? Not bad, actually. Not bad at all. Yeah, that's pretty decent. Now, of course, the fact that we don't have much battery power on this definitely means that things are going to be a little bit suspect. However, we should be able to add battery power with what we've got at the landing site. So that'll be completely fine. We'll go ahead and warp over this way. Uh-oh. Are we going to go into the dark side here? It looks like we're going to be okay. This time. This time. Also, our electric charge did last a while, right? It lasted several minutes of pretty heavy usage with the gyroscopes while we were going through the atmosphere. Of course, the mainsail had an alternator on it, didn't it? Yeah, that would tend to help. So we're going to warp towards T-12 here, and let's see just how quickly we're draining. Okay, yeah, this is manageable. It's going to be a bit interesting, to be sure. But we can make this happen. So we'll burn now. Okay, this engine wasn't this engine wasn't initiated yet. That's okay. We'll just continue to burn here. Ah, this engine does have an alternator on it. Good to know. That is very good to know. And we'll just bring this on down. Yep, that's looking pretty good there. Should be good enough. Good enough. Good enough. Okay, so somewhere around the apoapsis, I think, is where we want to push this out. We could try to get a gravity assist off of the moon to get there more efficiently, but I think I'll pass on that one. Okay, so we definitely need to do this a little later here. Let's bring this on over to around here. How's that looking? A little later still. Oh, I'm not usually off that far with that guesstimate there. That's fine. Even a little later for more efficiency. That doesn't look terrible. Now, I want to bring this in pretty close, so let's do just that. Bringing it in something like this. Now, that's a bit of an inclination. I don't exactly care about this inclination, in all honesty. Although, that moved way more than I wanted it to. Yeah, I don't exactly care about this inclination. Let's just go ahead and do something like this. That should be reasonably good. We can even bring it in a little closer to, like, here. I don't hate that. Now, we're going to lose power here. I'm going to turn the SAS off as we head over there to conserve a little power. Turning it back on to arrest our momentum. Okay. We're going to lose power. There's no doubt about that. Our burn is going to happen, I believe, on the light side. Yes, our burn will happen on the light side. So we can just go ahead and time warp towards that. Excellent. We've got power. And we are going to point at that maneuver node. 35.5 seconds? Yeah, 35.5 seconds is the time at which we want to begin this burn. T-minus 35.5. And that's completely okay. We will begin that burn right now. And off we go to Minmus. Hopefully this high gain antenna will be good enough, but if it isn't, the relay antenna will be. Now, the relay antenna will be dismounted at the landing site, right? We're bringing that in for the actual base there, and we'll just grab a battery from one of the cores that we have landed there and attach that onto this. It's not a big oversight. It's not a big deal. We've got lots of Delta V in here. It may look like our fuel is low, but that is because we're running this mostly empty for this particular run, and we will be refueling at the base. So that is, of course, fantastic. About 300 meters per second left in this burn, 20 seconds in that. And we've got another 125 seconds of burn, so we've got lots of burn time. And lots of thrust to weight in this as well. Okay. Let's come on in over here and see how this is going to go. There we go. Burning much more gently now. That is a little close for comfort, if I'm honest. We're going to flip around to retrograde here. We're going to back this off a teeny tiny amount. This needs to be very, very minute. Again, I don't really care so much about this inclination. It's not ideal, but it's okay. Okay. All I did there was shift and then immediately X to cut the engine. So, yeah, that'll do. Once we arrive at this periapsis in about 6 days, we are, of course, going to circularize. About like so. To do the trick. And then we will need to figure out which one of these messes is the actual location. I do need to go through and untrack many of those bits so that they just despawn. That would be very nice. But right now, we are, of course, just going to warp over to Minmus. Goodbye, Kerbin. Goodbye, Moon. Hello, Minmus. Fantastic. And once we have this base fully operational, I know it's been a long grind on this base, but once we have this base fully operational, this will enable us to go anywhere and do anything. And we're going to prove that with our Eve mission. So this burn is going to happen at T minus 5.5 seconds. We'll go ahead and warp towards that. And we will burn this now. Get ourselves a nice little retrograde burn going on here. There we go. We are now officially in orbit. And close enough. Close enough. So the question is, which one of these is the correct one? Let's find out. I do need to clean these up, and I promise that I will once we have this base operational and we know that we don't need any of these parts. Okay, this is the one that is actually our science outpost. So we are not going to worry about this, of course, and we are instead going to switch back to the fuel hauler. And then we are going to set, just so that I have it marked in some way, we're going to set this as our target. Now, I don't actually care about that grip strip, right? That's not relevant. What we're actually waiting on here is for, let me just warp up here a bit, is for this to get into daylight. There is no way with this thing in its current state that we're going to be attempting a nighttime landing. That is simply not going to happen. We'll give this one more orbit. I think we'll give it one more still. Okay. At this apoapsis, I want to... We have no probe control. Yeah, we wouldn't, because we don't have power, because we are not in sunlight yet. So we can't actually do it at the apoapsis. It doesn't actually matter. Let's just go ahead and move until we get power. There we go. And we are, at this point, going to do a bit of a radical burn here. And we're going to redirect our momentum down like this. We're going to have to bring in some retrograde, of course, at the same time. And we'll have it go something along the lines of this-ish. Approximately. That's 127 meters per second, and that's completely fine. Also, thank you for reminding me what the hotkey was for landing gear, because I'm dumb. And can never remember that. It's G. I didn't come up with that myself. I should have. But I didn't. So we are going to, of course, proceed here until we are at T-minus 4 seconds. Which we are right now. And we are going to alter our course pretty dramatically here. And I just want to work this down a little bit. There. Yeah, that'll do for now. Now, of course, we're going to have to bring this in, but that is exactly the plan. We're going to flip over to surface retrograde. And I'm thinking about maybe rotating here. I think it's okay for now. I don't think we need to perform any sort of a rotation maneuver. And yeah, we did get some ion science. Always nice. But I guess I will go ahead and do a bit of a rotation maneuver. Something along the lines of that, so that hopefully we can't use this solar panel. Perfect. No, I'm kidding. I'm going to keep rolling so that we can use both of our solar panels. There we go. Fantastic. Now, I'm going to go ahead and warp, I think, to a little before the descending node here. There we go. And our destination is, of course, to land on the pad. Now, I don't, strictly speaking, know if we're going to clip through the pad when we dock or not. And I'm going to make a save before we attempt to do that. That was something that happened in the testing, and we'll see if it continues to happen. I'm guessing it's because the single ship rigid body doesn't support self-collision. I know that sounds like maybe some technical mumbo-jumbo there, but I'm pretty sure that's what's going on there. So I expect that this will actually clip through the pad, which could be certainly interesting. And might actually mean that I'm still glad that we built the pad, to be clear, even if that does happen. But I'm interested in potentially... What is this close window tooltip? I guess it's from X Science. Okay. As I was saying, I'm still glad that we built the pad, to be completely clear. But, and that would be for RP purposes. But, what we may end up needing to do is we may end up needing... Let me just finish this turn here. Over this way, thanks. There we go. We may end up needing to land next to the pad in the future. I think we need to go over this way. Yes. I'll just overshoot it slightly, like that. Okay, let's go ahead and warp about a minute into the future. We should be on surface retrograde for right now. And yeah, we're going to overshoot this a bit in our current trajectory. This is indeed the plan. But yeah, we may have to land next to the pad in actuality, just because of the way the physics system works. It's not really designed for what we're doing here. We'll test it. And if it doesn't go well, well, then it doesn't go well. Okay, I haven't yet seen our KER bullseye. Let's see if I can see it by moving it a little. I think we may still be a little bit too high up. Yeah, maybe a little. Let's just bring this on over. Oh, there it is. Excellent. Okay. We'll put it not quite there, but maybe like there for now. Okay, that'll be good. And let's just warp forward another minute here. Oh, we can't warp. Well, we could physics warp. That's a terrible idea. That is an objectively awful idea. And I'm not going to physics warp. The reason it's so terrible is because I don't want to be physics warping when all of this down here loads in. So I just made a quick save there, you may have noticed. I don't know what the physics are going to be like when we land on it, on the pad. And I also don't know what the physics will be like when we dock it up. I expect that we will clip through. I don't know if the arm will be able to hold this on the pad when it is fully fueled. And I also don't know what the situation is going to end up looking like when we decouple, if we're clipped into the pad. That could create some really interesting physics. And it would be potentially spicy. So I'm actually going to make another quick save at 1 kilometer here. And we'll just see how that ends up going. Okay, so there's that quick save. And we're going to want to stop our momentum here pretty quick. And close in a little bit here. Okay. Just bleeding off a little bit of speed here. I want to go over this direction, so let's come over this way. Ah, it's going for surface retrograde. That's not what I want. Actually, right now it is what I want. That is what I want. Let's just go ahead and bleed off all of this speed. Okay, something like that. And let's just bring it over, not that way, but rather this way. Like that. To surface retrograde. You can see it drifting this way a little bit, which isn't exactly what I'd like to see right now. But we'll just kill our speed again. And bring it on over like so. Okay. Is this thing going to dwarf our base? That would be kind of hilarious if it did. Okay. That's a little bouncy, to be sure. But I've seen worse. Didn't land... Ooh, that's interesting there. Didn't land exactly where I wanted it to be. But, I mean, that's something that will be fixed with practice. So we now know that the landing mostly works. I'm a little concerned about what we've got going on here, but honestly, we could just retract our landing legs. And that would fix that issue. So for right now, I'm going to quick save while about to crash. We actually can't save while on the pad. Isn't that interesting? Well, we can switch over to the mining outpost here. And that we can quick save. Fantastic. And now the question is, why is the arm not working? Now, that was a question that I had last episode. Apparently it's only specific bits of the arm that aren't working. Specifically this servo. Fascinating. And I think the rotation servo that I have there is maybe put on backwards or something? I'm not sure what's going on there. Regardless, this alligator hinge is also not working. So there's that. None of these alligator hinges are working, actually. Motor is apparently disengaged. Do we have to toggle an action group for that? I don't know if we have to toggle an... Well, we shouldn't. Let's actually hop into the... I want to switch to our constructor here. Bill, where are you? There you go. Hi, Bill. So I want you to hop into build mode here. No pun intended. And I'm interested in seeing there's no tools here for working with action groups. Okay, that's noted. Let's come over here and maybe replace this with this. That's something we should probably think about doing. We will have to rebuild the entire arm to do that. It's not a big deal, of course. So let's go ahead and take this off of here. About like so. Interesting that that stays in its current extension state, isn't it? And then we can mount this guy over here and maybe play with it a little later on or something. But we can mount this guy right there. And then, of course, on that, we'll mount that. Perfect. And then we'll mount this onto there. And then a rotation servo. And an alligator mount. Or an alligator hinge, rather. There we go. And one of these arms. And a rotation servo. And an alligator hinge. And one of these arms. And a rotation servo. And an... Actually, this one, I think, should be... Well, no, it shouldn't be. This should be right on the alligator hinge, otherwise this doesn't really work. So we'll do something like that. And I guess we'll see if that makes it work. I have no idea if that's going to happen or not. Okay, so I'm going to quick save again. And we'll switch back to the mining outpost. Okay. Motor is disengaged. We definitely have electric charge. I'm not sure what's causing that. Fascinating. Well, before I forget, what I'm... Ooh, I don't like that jostle. I don't like that jostle at all. I think it'll settle. I think it'll settle. But what I'd like to do here is I'd like to take Bill up over this way. And he is going to ascend, not taking out that antenna, ideally. He's going to ascend over this way and land on the rocket that is landed on another rocket. This is going to be interesting to work with. We might want to build a tower with this. And, yeah. That's going to be very interesting to work with. It might not be a bad idea. Yeah, we need to stop this physics. Ooh. I entered Time Warp and it just clipped right on through. Okay, that of course means that we need to load this save. This is all just learning for me, right? We should be able to load the persistent save and it should be just right there. I do think that this means that we're probably overall safer to land next to the pad rather than on the pad. Again, I still like the pad being there. Absolutely. But, let's see, where is our fuel hauler? Is this the one where it just blew up? Like, did it autosave right as it blew up? It may have, actually. Now, I wouldn't have overwritten the save that I just made, but let's see here. Yeah. Okay, so we need to load in the save that I just made. Year 3, day 158, it's like 1 hour, 15 minutes. 17 minutes, this one. Okay. And yeah, for RP purposes, I'm glad that the pad is there. And we managed to land on it once. Okay, so this is happening. And we're going to have to land next to the pad. So we're going to go ahead and immediately start working on doing that. I want to head out over this direction-ish. Okay, this is not going well. Let's go ahead and kill our momentum here. Okay, I want to be in surface mode. Yeah. Okay, there we go. I want to be going slightly up right now and take this over this way. Okay. And we'll head on over. Ooh, this is moving so much as we rotate. So much. We're going to land right on that poor Kerbal. Okay, let's not do that. Something along the lines of, you know what? We actually need to get some distance here. We don't have enough space for these maneuvers. Okay. Can we please point up a little bit? Thanks. Okay. We've entered a bit of a tumble here, and we're going to attempt to prevent this by going up a little bit here. Like so. And now we should have plenty of time to switch to surface retrograde and make a new approach. Lessons have been learned, for sure. Okay, so where are we actually at in our destination? Over here? Sure. Let's bring it on over. This is prograde here. And of course that means that we want to move over towards retrograde. And let's just kill that momentum there. And I want to rotate us a little bit. Something like that. Where is our destination? There? Okay, that's going to need to come this direction then. Yes, more along the lines of that. And now we should have time to do this. Let's get our landing legs deployed. And yeah, I do know that there's Heldis right there. But I think we can probably miss Heldis. We're going to actually land a little further over this way, so should in theory be okay. Suicide burn countdown is apparently in 10 seconds, which is spooky, and I'm going to burn it a little early here. Yeah. Reason being, I wanted to make sure that we were not necessarily going to hit Heldis there. Okay. So let's just come on in here. Can we change this trajectory here? There we go. So we'll land next to the pad, since this is definitely far safer. Like, for sure. The physics is definitely problematic, but the pad is there for RP purposes. Turn SAS off. We can settle to straight up and down. Thank you. Okay, so now that that is a little bit better located, we are going to go back to the mining outpost here. And we're going to need to, of course, figure out what's wrong with this system. And I'm not exactly sure why it's just not doing anything here. Interesting. Very, very interesting. But some of these do work. Like this one. Fascinating. It looks like it's the rotation servos and the alligator hinges that don't work. Regardless, I'm going to look into that off camera. It is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Next episode, we'll get this guy fueled up, and that will be absolutely fine. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I will see you all next time.